Once upon a time in a small town nestled between rolling hills, there lived a man named Elias. He was once known as the town's most talented blacksmith. His work was the pride of the village, shining swords, ornate gates, and delicate trinkets all forged in his blazing workshop. But as the years passed, Elias began to feel the weight of time. His once fiery passion flickered dimly, and his forge grew cold. The villagers, once in awe of his skill, started seeking other smiths. Elias often found himself sitting on the porch, watching the sunset with a heart heavy with regret. "Where did my greatness go?" he would whisper to the wind. One day, as Elias was lost in his thoughts, a young boy named Liam approached him. Liam, with his bright eyes and boundless energy, reminded Elias of his younger self. The boy had heard the tales of Elias's skill and was eager to learn the craft. "Please, Master Elias, teach me how to make things as beautiful as you once did," Liam pleaded. Elias looked at the boy, seeing in him a reflection of his own past, when the world was full of possibilities and his heart burned with purpose. "Why do you want to learn from an old man who has lost his touch?" Elias asked, bitterness seeping into his voice. Liam tilted his head, puzzled. "You haven't lost your touch, Master Elias. You've just forgotten where you put it, but I can help you find it again." Elias chuckled at the boy's innocence, but something about his words stirred something deep within him. Could it be that he had simply forgotten his greatness, rather than lost it forever? The thought lingered as Elias decided to take Liam under his wing, if only to teach him the basics. As days turned into weeks, something remarkable began to happen. Liam's enthusiasm reignited a spark in Elias's heart. He began to see his work through the eyes of his apprentice. Every piece of metal had potential. Every flame in the forge a chance to create something beautiful. With each lesson, Elias found himself not only teaching but also relearning the art he once mastered. One evening, after a particularly grueling day at the forge, Elias and Liam sat by the fire, exhausted but content. The young apprentice looked at his mentor and asked, "Master Elias, how did you become so great in the first place?" Elias paused, looking into the dancing flames. "I was like you, once full of dreams, driven by a passion I could barely contain. But over time, life happened. I faced setbacks, failures, and the fire within me started to die down. I forgot the joy of creation, the pride in my work. I let the world tell me I was done. But now I realize that greatness isn't something you achieve and then it's there forever. It's something you have to keep alive, like the fire in the forge. It needs fuel, care, and most importantly, a reason to burn." Liam listened intently, absorbing every word. "So, how do you keep it alive?" Elias smiled, his face glowing in the firelight. "By finding new reasons to be great, by embracing the challenges, learning from the failures, and never letting the flame go out completely. Greatness isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you do. It's about finding that fire within you and feeding it, no matter how small it gets." From that night on, Elias' forge burned brighter than ever. He began creating works that surpassed even his previous masterpieces. But more than that, he found a new sense of purpose, passing on his knowledge, his passion, and his fire to others. He understood now that greatness was not a destination but a journey. It was the act of continually striving, of reigniting the flames whenever they threatened to go out. As years passed, Elias became known not just as a great blacksmith, but as a mentor, a beacon of wisdom and inspiration. The town once again admired him, not just for his skill, but for his resilience, his ability to bring greatness back into his life and into the lives of others. And so, the legacy of Elias, the blacksmith who found his fire again, lived on. His story traveled far beyond the hills of his little town, reminding people everywhere that greatness is never truly lost. It's always there, waiting to be rekindled, ready to burn bright once more. Morale of the story: The story of Elias teaches us that greatness isn't a permanent state. It's a fire that needs to be tended to. Life's challenges and setbacks might dim it, but they don't extinguish it. The key to making greatness come back in life is to find new reasons to reignite your passion. Embrace failures as part of the journey and keep pushing forward. Whether you're a teenager just starting out or someone who feels like their best days are behind them, remember that the fire of greatness still burns within you. All it needs is a little spark to blaze anew.